Good morning! Hey friends! Okay, welcome back to the vlog. This is what we have going on this morning. First of all, it's early. I mean, it's not that early. I have taken my kids to school, but I'm still in my jammin' jams. No, actually, I do have yoga pants on, so that counts as real pants, right? I'm having coffee. I have a busy day ahead. Lots of kitchen chores need to happen. Those are actually clean though, so. But let's see, what is on the agenda today? Oh, I'm baking bread. I'm gonna show you guys the second day of baking bread. So the first day was yesterday's vlog, and I'll make sure to put that link in the description for you guys. And then today is the second day. So when I make sourdough, it's like a 24-hour process, right? So I'm making it the first day. Day one, I'm mixing the dough, I'm letting it ferment on the counter. I am really not touching it. Like, I'm mixing it, I'm leaving it alone for the most part. And then that night, I'm shaping the loaves, getting them into their baskets, and then putting them in the fridge. And you guys saw all of that on that vlog. So today is day two. And what I do, it's really, really, really easy. Day two is a breeze. So I'll take you through those steps. Day two, first thing you're gonna do is preheat your oven. It's over there. I'm preheating my oven to 500 degrees with my Dutch oven with the lid on it inside of it while the oven preheats. You want to do it that way because you want your Dutch oven to be very, very hot when you put your sourdough bread dough in it. So that's why you're gonna put your Dutch oven in your oven as it preheats. So that's what's happening right now. You can kind of see I have my oven preheated for 500 degrees and we're just waiting for that to be done. And then I can take you on to the next step. One might ask, Rebecca, while you're waiting for your oven to preheat, are you gonna wash those dishes and put those away? No, I'm not. I'm gonna drink this coffee. Okay, something magical just happened. The oven preheated. Okay, so I have parchment paper. I am just going to pull off a piece of parchment paper about yay big. This is what I'm gonna be putting my bread on to cook. Okay, I think I saved it. I salvaged it. It's gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine. Okay, so I have a piece of parchment paper about this big. This is probably a little too big, but it'll be okay. I'm just laying it flat on my island here, which still has as your standard bags all over it, by the way. And I've grabbed my handy dandy razor that I'm gonna be using to carve. I think I just got that on Amazon too, and I can drop a link for you guys for that too. Okay, so remember, we put the bread in the refrigerator to continue the fermentation process, but just at like a much slower rate than it would have on the counter, because if this was still sitting on the counter in bread baskets, then it would for sure have over fermented. And we don't want to lose that oven spring that we're gonna get that's gonna make our bread nice and bubbly. Okay, so I'm only taking one out. I'm gonna leave the other one in the refrigerator and it's gonna sit there, and I will probably bake it maybe tomorrow or maybe the next day. One of the very best loaves of bread that I ever made, I actually forgot about it in the refrigerator for like 3 days. And then I was like, oh, I have bread, I need to bake it. And I baked it and it was like the best bread. Okay, so I'm taking my bread basket and I'm actually gonna take just a butter knife right now and I'm going to just gently, ever so gently, see how it's kind of a little bit stuck to the sides. I floured this thing pretty good, but it's still just a little bit stuck. So I'm just gonna gently kind of pull it away from the sides. I'm really not even pushing on it at all. I'm just really gently kind of moving it away. So when I dump this thing over, there won't be any parts of the bread that stick to the basket, because that could like tear the dough and we do not want that. That'd be so sad. Okay, so here we go. It's actually coming apart really, really good. Like really, I did a good job. I did a good job flouring this basket. There have been times where I have not done a good job, guys, and my bread has stuck, and that's always so sad. So just know, like, over flour it. When in doubt, over flour it, okay? Okay, so now I'm just going to pretty much flip this thing over onto my parchment paper, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys this lower view. So see how it's come away from the sides. I've just taken my butter knife and gently kind of moved it over, and then I'm just going to, in the middle of my parchment paper, ta-da! I did it. I'm gonna take this handy dandy brush and I'm just gonna kind of brush the flour off of, like the excess flour, kind of off of my dough and kind of just onto the parchment. So I'm just taking this and just very gently kind of brushing it off. Like you see, there's a little bit of excess just coming off, especially since I do use a lot of flour on my bread baskets, just because I have a little bit of PTSD from maybe not flouring enough and it's sticking and then it tearing my loaf. And all of that work, you know, goes down the drain. I mean, it doesn't. I still baked it and it still tasted great. Just wasn't as beautiful. But you know what? Sometimes that's okay. And now I'm going to take my razor and I'm going to cut just like a little crescent in the top over to the side of my loaf. And this is going to allow a space for the bread to steam, and that way it'll get that beautiful little lip on it, and it'll hopefully, the goal is to rise into a beautiful loaf of bread. So I'm just gonna take it and gently bring it all the way around, just like a little crescent there. And I guess I'm going down like about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. I'm getting it pretty deep, okay? And then over here on the side, if you want, you can do like just a pretty, like these little cuts will be not as deep. They'll be pretty shallow. They're just for decoration and not really like serving any purpose, just to make it cute. So there's that. Right, now I'm going to put on these guys. I'm just gonna tell you, you're gonna want a good pair of hefty oven mitts, because you need something that you can use at high heat, because this Dutch oven has been in my oven at 500 degrees preheating, and then it's gonna be cooking in there at 500 degrees and then 450. So you need something, I like something that's long so it protects my forearms. Trust me, okay? Protects my forearms, something that's good for high heat. Oops. And we'll just protect you all the way around, okay? Okay, I'm gonna grab my Dutch oven out of the oven and then we can get the bread in there. Ooh, nice and steamy. Okay. Did you guys see that steam come out of that pot? All right, I'm gonna do this very carefully, especially since my paper ripped. That was really unfortunate that that happened. Let's see. Here we go. So I just moved my bread over to the pot, and I'm gonna probably trim back some of this because I want that lid to get super tight on there. Okay, lid is going on the pot. Now I'm gonna place it in my 500-degree oven. Okay, bread is in the oven, lid on. It's gonna cook at 500 degrees I'm gonna set a timer for 25 minutes. That is set. Alrighty, and we wait. Okay, the baking at 500 for 25 minutes is done, so we're gonna turn off that timer. We're gonna go ahead and just hit bake, and we're gonna lower the cooking time to 450 degrees and hit start. And now we're gonna take the lid off of the pot. Okay, now is kind of the moment that we've all been waiting for, to see if we got that beautiful, nice rise in our loaf. Sometimes you will and sometimes you won't. As in sometimes you'll get a pancake, but that's okay. It's still gonna taste really good. The goal, of course, is to get a nice rounded loaf with that really pretty ridge on it. So let's see what we got. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We got that oven spring. You can't see it, but you will in just a little bit. I gotta put it back in. Oh, it's so pretty, you guys. Okay, and now I'm gonna set my timer for 20 minutes. And at that 20-minute mark, it'll be done and we can take it out and let it cool and then eat it. Okay, it's time. Our timer, second timer just went off. So we baked at 500 for 25 minutes. I lowered the temperature, took the lid off, lowered the temperature to 450, took the lid off, and we cooked it for another 20 minutes. Moment of truth. It looks amazing. Here it is. It's beautiful. So you can see where we cut that slit in right there. This is a really pretty loaf. Like, look how, this is a pretty deep Dutch oven, so this got some really good rise on it. So the next thing that I'll do is I'm actually going to take the bread out of its hot pot. Oh, and I'm gonna show you another little trick just in case you guys have the same issue that I have. So I love these wooden cutting boards. I don't know who got these for me. I've had them forever. I definitely need to probably treat it. It's pretty dry. So you can see, I have my bread on my cutting board. Here's a better look at the loaf. Pretty big, beautiful loaf. My slits must have been a little too deep right here because look how it kind of cut into the middle. So I probably went a little deep, but that's good. It's still beautiful. I used to have an issue with the bottom of my loaves being a little on the more, what would one say, not burned, but on very well done side. And so I actually put, you'll see that pizza stone, and it just stays in the bottom of my oven. And so it kind of protects the bottom of the bread from getting very well done. And that seemed to fix the issue for me. So anyway, just in case you get a very well done bottom of your loaf, that's what you can do and it'll take care of it. Now that the bread is baked, I am gonna finish getting this kitchen picked up because it's a bit of a disaster. I also have to get dressed. I haven't eaten breakfast yet, so I need to do that. And then I am subbing at the elementary school today in our local town. So still a very busy day ahead. It's only 9:17 and we have fresh bread and another loaf in the fridge. So if I wanted to cook that, I could go ahead and cook it now. I could cook them together at the same time, but I don't feel like I needed, I didn't feel like I needed 2 loaves today, and I'll probably save the other one for tomorrow. If you don't feel like you have like the need for that much bread, you can always half the recipe and just make 1 loaf. I also really like to give bread away because fresh bread is like the greatest gift you could ever give. So if you have a neighbor, if you have a friend, somebody who would also really appreciate homemade bread, you can give it, you could like make a loaf and give a loaf. So that's one way to kind of like, if you feel like there's no way I'm eating 2 loaves of sourdough bread, then you can, you know, what's it? Pay it forward. Pay it forward. There you go.